So let's start with Scott Abraham.
Hey, Coach, good to see you as always. Obviously, you're well aware of COVID-19 and the spikes across this country right now, and obviously sitting close to home with your football program. I mean, as we sit here today, do you think it's smart to kind of move forward and start this basketball season a week away where this world is right now in terms of COVID?
Yeah, I do. We're not going to be able to stop the spread of it. It is what it is. We're going to do everything we can to keep our players and coaches safe. I think football's doing that. I feel bad for football because they were rolling, but they're doing what's right for the program. They're taking really good care of the players and the coaches and making decisions based on it. But I think sports has been good for the world. We always sacrifice as coaches and athletes to do what we love to do, and we'll continue to do that to make sure we can play. The bottom line is that we've worked backwards. We put the NCAA tournament in, we know when the dates are, and we work backwards from there. We're just trying to figure out a way to get to an NCAA tournament. And so is it going to go perfect? No, it's not going to go perfect. We're going to have pauses in the season throughout most teams in the country probably. But the bottom line is that we do everything we can during these pauses to make sure our guys are safe and healthy, and kids want to play, coaches want to coach. I think fans want to watch their teams play. So we'll be careful, but we definitely want to start the season next Wednesday, and we're ready for it.
And a quick follow-up, an extra element to all this is the fact you're going to be playing games without any fans in the stadium and inside the gyms. How do you think your players are going to respond to that?
Well, we'll see. We always do a private scrimmage normally every year. We didn't do it this year, and it's a little unique, but we'll adapt quickly. I think it's, from what I've heard from the other coaches that have had scrimmages already, like within their own team, it's just the way the benches are set up. Getting used to that is going to be one thing, and it'll be different. It'll be unique, but in the end, when you throw the ball up and you start playing, man, it's going to be the same. And apparently the crowd noise that's piped in is a little bit annoying, so we got to figure that out. But it is what it is, and you do what you have to do to play the season.
Thank you, Coach.
Next question is for Lila, please.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, Lila, how you doing?
Good. What was your reaction to see Jalen pick last night, especially, being a top 10 pick and the program's first lottery pick since Alex Len?
Yeah, we were obviously extremely happy for Jalen. He's such a great kid. He was such a fun young man to coach for 2 years. I'm really high on the family. You guys know how I feel about Charles and Lisa. Great parents, and never said boo, just got out of my way and let me coach their son. So, and then trusted me through the process. So really happy that it worked out. We felt good about 9, 10, and 13 before the draft. And there was a couple other numbers after that. We knew that Phoenix really liked him. So I love when people, what's the difference between the 10th and 20th best player in the draft? It's all someone's opinion. But for Jalen, it was terrific to go 10. And most importantly, we think he's in a really good situation. Monty Williams is a good Christian man. I think he'll be a really good situation for them. New management there, and I think they're a team on the rise. Just traded for Chris Paul, so we feel like, in the end, he's going to go to a team that's going to win, and he's going to a place where he fits in, and I think will thrive. And
what was your conversation like with him, after the draft?
I haven't spoken to him after the draft. I spent like about 30 minutes with him before the draft. If I can't imagine what it was like for him right after the draft, because it was really busy for me for about the first hour and a half. So I've texted him, congratulated him, but I'm going to give him a call a little bit later today. I don't know when he's going to go down to Phoenix and what that situation is, but let him. I'm sure he was up a lot last night, but I'll talk to him, and I know he's excited. But he's a humble kid, and I know he's already moved on to like, okay, I'm with Phoenix now. What do I got to do to make sure I'm a successful part of that team?
Thank you.
Question to Alif, WDVM.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. on Jalen, when you talk about his fit at number 10, what he brings to the Suns, what are you excited in terms of how he can contribute in sort of a similar role that he played with Bruno here with the Terps?
Yeah, he'll play the power forward most of the time. When he's there, and I did a radio show this morning in Phoenix, and the NBA's gone so small. They were worrying if him and Ayton could play together, and they can because they're both so skilled and can shoot threes and can spread the floor, and they're both great athletes. And the thing about Jalen is he doesn't get enough credit for his defense. Just how smart he is, his basketball IQ defensively, and all the things that he can do defensively. So I think they're going to fall in love with that part of it. And he's worked his tail off since COVID hit. He's been in the gym almost every day. He's really improved his shot, and his shot was really good for us last year. But it's even tighter and better. And my biggest concern was his handle, and he's worked really hard. He became a much better dribbler for us, but it was really the next step for him, especially because the NBA is so open. The way they play, it's wide open. So he's going to help him. I think he's going to help him right away. They love him. They had the guts to pick him at 10. And so they obviously have a plan for him. And, I think he's going to, have a chance to really make an impact right away.
Next question for Pete Gilbert, WB.
Hey, Coach. If you talk to anybody from the NBA as far as dealing, what it was like, coaching and playing and going through in a bubble and or other kind of protocol, who have you reached out with to kind of best have you prepared for this season that is unlike any other?
Yeah, I really just talk to college coaches because we're not in a bubble. It looks like we might be in somewhat of a bubble if we're fortunate enough to play in the NCAA tournament. So, and I think it's going to probably head that way as time goes on. And at that time, we'll probably ask more questions to the NBA guys, talk to them a little bit about it when they were going through it. Know a lot of guys in the league and guys that got in, got out early. Didn't really talk to guys that were in it the whole time, but it is what it is. I think it's just us preparing. I'm trying not to make excuses for COVID. We've practiced just as hard as we would for a regular season. Probably not as much morning practices just because of the testing, not as much coming in at night and doing extra shooting because of all the rules and regulations that we have. But we don't want to show up for our first game and not be prepared just because we were afraid to do things because of COVID. So we've kind of attacked it pretty well. We don't, as you you live your life, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And so you try to do the best you can today. And we feel blessed and thankful that we have today and a chance to practice and be with our team. So we're just going to take it day by day and kind of see what happens.
Thank you.
Next question for Bruce Posner. Bruce.
I guess we can congratulate you too on Jalen's success.
Thank you.
Maryland's becoming big man U. When you analyze, Len and Jake Layman and Bruno and now Jalen, all high draft picks. Is there anything your program does to prepare these guys maybe a little bit better for the NBA or attract their attention more? Because that can't be a coincidence.
No, and I think it started with DeAndre Jordan at Texas A&M. Was lucky enough to coach him, and he's been real successful. And then Alex Len, right when we got here, made it in the NBA. So I think by being successful, and you can't forget Diamond Stone either. Unfortunately for Diamond, the NBA game's changed so much. He's kind of a dinosaur when it comes to playing at that level. But Diamond was a guy that in old school NBA would have been a NBA player for a long time. So we recruit. I think we have an eye for talent at that level. And then we develop the heck out of all our players. We've just been fortunate enough to have some really talented bigs that are moving on and doing really well for us. And because we've had so many, it sets you up to get another one. Helped us get Joel Mariel. We got Julian Reese coming in here. I think's got a chance to play. James Graham, who we signed earlier, about 6'9", another big kid that has a chance to plays more guard, but to play at the next level. So it is what it is. We've had a few point guards in the NBA. We've had a few different guys, wings in the NBA, but we just develop our guys. We maybe the secret is we treat our post guys like point guards. Every drill our point guard's doing, our big guys are doing. We don't just stick them on the block. We try to do as now with Bruno. We didn't let him shoot threes, and he's shooting more in the NBA. But we were practicing threes with Bruno every day, and we were practicing ball handling with him and preparing him for his future. But we were trying to win as many college games with him while we had him. So I think it's the way we treat him and the way we coach him that kind of fits today's NBA game. Great question, Bruce. We don't get enough press for that.
Got time for two more guys. Emily, Washington Post.
Hi, Mark. I was just gonna ask about Aaron. You look at the jump he took from year 1 to year 2. What do you think that next jump looks like for him this year?
Well, everybody's expecting a big jump out of Wiggs this year, including himself. I will say this. When he came here, he did a lot of things well. But he's made all those things better. So he dribbles better, he passes better, his decision making's better, his on-ball defense is better, his team defense is better, his rebounding's better, his leadership's better. So from year 1 to year 2, he did that, and from year 2 to year 3, where we are now, he's done that. So he's made a big jump. I think hopefully he won't feel the pressure, but it's just becoming a more consistent shooter is really what he's looking for, I'm looking for, and everybody's looking for. I tell him all the time, I said, you only got to make 4 out of 10 from 3 and you're an elite shooter. That's not that hard to do, Wiggs. So just relax and let it come to him. But he's got a really good team around him. There's going to be nights where he puts us on his back and he scores a lot of points. There's going to be other nights where he sees other guys are playing well and he won't do as much. But just being consistently better each and every night is really what I'm asking for out of him. And to realize that Jalen's not here anymore, Anthony Cowan's not here anymore, and he needs to, kind of step into that role.
Thanks, Emily. Sean Stepner, WMAR.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for doing this. First of all, big props to you on the Zoom background, the Zoom set. That's quality right there. Just wondering, we've seen with football, talking to Coach Locks and the players, and they're super serious about the protocols and staying safe and doing what they can to keep the season going. And we've seen what happens to no fault of their own. How do you advise your players as far as how to carry themselves? We're so close to the season, with these protocols and actually getting the season started and keeping it going.
Well, what we've learned and what football's learning, what everybody around the country's learning is it spreads so fast and so easily. So we had a little bit of it hit us right when we came back in August. And sure as, this guy was next to that guy was next to this guy, they all got it. And so I'm sure that's what's happened with football. We've asked our guys to even wear their mask in their rooms, in their apartments. Obviously, when they go out, they do it. We wear a mask, except when we're on the court. We wear them onto the floor. Coaches wear them on the floor. Testing doesn't going to keep us from getting it. We do test 6 days a week, which is a pain in the rear, but you have to do it. But that doesn't keep us from getting it. So washing our hands, just doing everything that people say you need to do. And our guys sacrifice. It's really unique. We're no more than 7 in the locker room. Grab and go food. We're never in a room together. The only time we're together is in our meeting room, and we all wear masks and we sit 6 feet apart. And my meetings are no longer than I'm out of there before 15 minutes are up. So we're doing everything we can. The key is if someone does get it on our team, that it doesn't spread, and that's the whole key, and really will determine the success of our season. But yeah, we're scared to death as coaches that, at some point we're going to have to pause, but that's why we're grateful for every day. We're thankful for every day that we get to practice, and we're just going to do the best we can with it. But the bottom line is like football, and you'll hear Damon say it, and you'll hear Locke say it, and you'll hear Brenda say it, and you'll hear me say it. bottom line is just safety, and making sure that if someone does get it, that we take the best care of them we could possibly take care of them, and then go from there.